Philippine President Duterte dismantled the oligarchs, the new era of free Filipinos.
Videos with current events.
Has granted with special powers.
Videos with interesting stories.
Sikorsky S-70
Videos with thrilling facts.
coronavirus.
And entertaining videos. This is MIL Teacher Sir RJ, where you can get your daily dose of reliable information.
President Rodrigo Duterte has boasted his success in dismantling the oligarchs without the need to declare martial law in the country as we enter the new era of free Filipinos. In a speech before troops in Sulu, he said he was able to end the power of one family which took advantage of its political power.
Itong mga mayaman na ginagatasan ang gobyerno pati ang tao. Without declaring martial law, sinira ko yung mga tao na humahawak sa ekonomiya at umiipit. At hindi nagbabayad. Noon nilaro nila ang bayan ko. Kaya ako mamatay, mahulog yung eroplano, putang ina. I am very happy. Alam mo bakit? Sabi ko, without declaring martial law, I dismantled the oligarchy that controlled the economy of the Filipino people.
Duterte, who was in Jolo on Monday, did not specify which family he was pertaining to, but his remark comes days after House panel rejected ABS-CBN's franchise application bid. This was only the second time Philippines' major broadcasting network went off-air since then President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in September 1972. Malacanang has claimed Duterte is neutral on ABS-CBN's franchise renewal bid. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, who admittedly that he did not watch Duterte's speech, clarified that the president was not referring to ABS-CBN. He said the remark only coincided with the end of the media's network's franchise. He said Duterte was referring to Philippine Airlines Chairman Lucio Tan and water concessionaires Manny Pangilinan and the Ayala Group based on the president's previous gripes against this businessman.
Yes po, good afternoon, Secretary. Sa speech po ni President Duterte, he mentioned about an oligarchy na binuwag at sinira po niya. Just for the record, who is the President referring to?
He's referring po to the oligarchies that he has dealt with personally. Nandyan po yung unang away niya with Lucio Tan, pero nagbayad po ng pagkakautang sa airport ang si Lucio Tan. At nandyan po yung mga water concessionaires. No? At dahil talaga namang sinabihan niya, talagang baguhin nyo ang kontrata, hindi nyo dapat maging agrabyado ang taong bayan, kung hindi ay ipakukulong ko kayo. No? At pumayag naman po na magkaroon ng amended concession agreement ang dalawang Taipans na MVP Group at ang Ayala Group.
Opo, hindi po ba, are you saying, sir, that this is just a coincidence that the President mentioned this immediately after Congress denied the franchise application of ABS-CBN?
I believe so, kasi palagi naman yung sinasabi sa mga talumpati niya, yung mga oligarchs na talagang siya mismo ang bumuwag. No? Ito naman pong kaso kasi ng ABS-CBN, kaso po na nag-expire ang prangkisa at hindi po na-renew ng Kongreso.
What is oligarchy? Generally, an oligarch is a member of an oligarchy, a person who is part of a small group holding power in a state. A business oligarch is generally a business magnate who controls sufficient resources to influence national politics. A business leader can be considered an oligarch if the following conditions are satisfied. Number 1, uses monopolistic tactics to dominate an industry. Number 2, possesses sufficient political power to promote their own interests. Number 3, controls multiple businesses which intensively coordinate their activities. Aristotle gave the concept of oligarchy some negative connotations, but the term does not necessarily imply wealth. That means even if you are not one of the top 20 richest men, but you have monopolistic tactics, political influence, and control of multiple businesses, you are an oligarch. ABS-CBN Corporation owner Eugenio Lopez Jr. is the biggest broadcasting network in the Philippines and employs tactics in monopolizing the industry through its child companies like Big Dipper and others. They also own power plant, which provides energy supply for Meralco. How did oligarchy start in the Philippines? In the 1500s, Spain sought colonies with three objectives known as the three G's. The first was noble. God and glory is used to spread Christianity and to perpetuate the Spanish way of life. The third was subtler but harmful. Gold, to take control of the colonies of their national resources. Herman Cortes of Mexico perfected the Spanish method of colonization. It involved subduing the indigenous leader, claiming his wealth, expropriating the land, and coercing the indigenous people to work for Spanish interests. This was followed by establishing the Spanish people as the new elite and taking control of taxation and overall governance. Before the arrival of the Spaniards, most indigenous people of the Philippines were organized as tribal kingdoms. Then, the system was replaced by a system called encomiendas, that is ruled by an encomendero, or the colonies themselves. Indigenous people were obliged to render hard labor, such as stealing the land and mine for precious metals for them in exchange for being converted to Christianity and minimal resources to survive and a wage. The Spanish colonists also used the principle of reducciones to multiply the workers in the field by providing housing inside the encomendero's land. With a group of laborers, the encomendero imposed a tax system called mita. Mita called for the workers to render longer hours of labor in exchange for food security and famine relief. As the encomiendas grew in size, they became societies on their own. To further extract value from its labor force, the encomenderos imposed another scheme called repatriamiento de mercancías. The scheme forced workers to purchase goods like clothing and medicines at outrageous prices as determined by the encomenderos. The combination of encomienda, mita, and repartimiento de mercancías were designed to drive down the living standards of the indigenous people to a minimal level and extract all incomes in excess for the encomenderos. As scandalous as it is, it turned the Philippines into one of the most unequal countries in the world. In case we think that everything of the Spanish heritage is bad, we should also consider their vast contributions to the society. The Spaniards organized our lands into a unified nation, adopted Roman law across the land, established Western education, and gave us our first roads, highways, and bridges, among others. Since then, the laws and constitution of the Philippines evolved with the encomienda as its roots. Our constitutions were written based on the labor practices and tax structure of the encomiendas. This is why even today, our respective constitution bestows special privileges to a narrow elite at the same time repressing the masses. As a result, the rich becomes richer and the poor becomes poorer. And when newcomers become elites, the newcomers themselves will experience the privileges and they will take advantage of the immense privileges of the system. They will start to work to preserve the status quo rather than reform it. This is why the Philippines can't escape from the vicious cycle of producing bad oligarchs. Nations like Japan, Canada, and Singapore carries on equal opportunity for all and maintains a level playing field in the economy where masses are able to apply their talents and skills, giving them the opportunity to improve their way of life, thus making their country great. One way to break the vicious cycle of bad oligarchs in the Philippines is to promote democracy and not fake democracy, being experienced ever since. Democratizing the power of the rich and keeping the level for everyone to cash up may solve the nation's vicious problem. neutralizing the privileges enjoyed by certain oligarchs, as President Duterte is doing with the Ayalas, Pangilinan, Luciutan, and Lopezes, is only our first step. To make a real result, the government must crack down monopolies and oligopolies, making the economy accessible to all, local or foreign investors. It may also include cracking down corruption in the government and taking down political dynasties, giving everyone the opportunity. As history shows, oligarchs survive by preserving the status quo, and by taking them down without democratizing their power may only result to developing new oligarchs as they find the system too good to give up. As the shutting down of the biggest media network company, realigning contracts from the water concessionaires, and threatening abusive oligarchs, President Duterte has a chance to break this vicious cycle. Let's just hope that it goes all the way to change the hangovers of the encomienda system.
If you like this video, please click subscribe button below and we have more videos for you. Thank you.